Hi all, welcome back to Animats in Kharkov, Soviet Solo, Take 2, Part 59 we're up to. Yeah, we're grinding away. Still hanging on in there. I suppose I figured things would take this length of time. If you've watched any previous stuff of mine, that's just how it goes. I'm still enjoying it though. Got myself burnt out through the week there a little bit, but feel like I'm back on track. Maybe not the best time to press record at the moment. It's still the same night. I've been out for a meal, had a few drinks, so yes. Maybe not the best, but I thought I'd maybe try and get things started anyway, because hopefully get a bit of time tomorrow to do things. And I think sometimes you want to get started so that you're then encouraged to, right, we've got that bit out of the way, because it's just, the start-up stuff at the beginning of the turn and whatever can be a sort of, right. No, it's still quite interesting. Well, you know what, we've got 3 reserves coming in, so that'll be nice. Right, so we were about to start game turn 7. Just a couple of things to talk about, a couple of things Martin's came up with, which, I never noticed this. Where is it? Major offensive. The wording on that card. I was going to say to Martin, but I feel like I've been a bit picky about things recently. That you'll see that in the action there, the last sentence of the action, it says non-active proximate units and lead units army join attack. Army, not core. I didn't notice that. What I kind of wanted to say was it would have been nice if that had been highlighted. He actually highlighted it in his post on YouTube. Capitals, or if it had been in bold. I don't know. Maybe it does say army, so should I be? And there's the difference. Forward attack and I think it's strong attack have the words core, as you can see. So non-active proximate units and lead units core join attack. However, major offensive says army, and it's written right there on the card. So it's not that I have an excuse. Whether I would have noticed it if it had been highlighted, capitals in bold, maybe not. I suppose read the card. One of my mates, William, when I was playing Magic the Gathering, well, I'm teaching him how to play and whatever, wasn't sort of something he was into and that, and then he would play a card and I would say, "Is that right, William?" And it's like, "Well, yeah." I said, Did you read the card? Read the card, William. Read the card. Sorry, it's a inside joke between me and him, but I guess I must have said it more than once. Read the card, and that's what I should have been doing there. Read the card. So it does say army, and that was regarding, I think, the attack with the 40 core units. And I was basically, no, was it? Was it 40 core units? Hang on a sec. Yeah, it was activation of the 40 core units, and I didn't study his reply completely because, when he said it and when he pointed it out, I was like, oh, right, I never read that at all. But basically the action could have brought in 3rd core units. He said, fortunately, I wasn't. Yeah, because we did carry out the action, didn't we? We did indeed. So let's just looking at this again. All active units proximate to qualifying target move adjacent to target and attack. Prefer weakest, and that turned out to be because we could have attacked here, I think, but it worked out we could get round to the weakest target. And then non-active proximate units and Weed Unit's army join attack. The Weed Unit was unit number 3, I guess? Or did somebody take a hit here? I can't remember. But anyway, it was 40 Corps. And if you notice, close by, there's quite a few 3rd Corps units. They're part of the army. And of course, I didn't read army. I read that as Corps. Which was wrong. So I didn't study it completely. Martin said, fortunately, none of these 3rd Corps units were proximate. And you can see, but I'm so glad he's brought it up, because it's another one that's been brought to my attention that I've been not getting right. So hopefully I'll be prepared for the next time, and I'll remember that, okay, major offensive was army, not corps. He did give a, what did he say, if it was pop-off unit number, I can't remember. Was it this guy maybe? 25? I think he mentions 25. Yeah, if it had been this guy that we had went for, and not the weakest unit, which was in here, then some of these 3rd Corps units would have got involved, I think. I think that's what he said. You can go and read the post if you like. I just, when I seen that, I thought, I've just not read it right at all. But glad he's brought it up, so now hopefully that will stick. That's another one that was, just slipping by me. It just shows you, read the card, read the card, Grant. I'll need to put a wee header, a wee comment to my friend Liam to go and watch this bit, I think. You might get a laugh out of that. Okay, so yeah, well, thanks for bringing that to my attention, Martin, because I was totally not reading that right at all. And the other thing, actually, he mentioned something else. What was it again? Yeah, okay. I talked about, it was the same sort of, well, actually it was maybe a bit further on. It was regarding these 2 units when they became active. And I think I totally believe how he's putting this. I think I've been not quite looking at this right. So right, hang on, let me just double check the video footage, hang on. Okay, I've not watched through the whole video footage there, but I've not watched back on that part yet. I'm a bit behind things. Like I say, I'm just chucking them out there in the hope that somebody else will spot an error and I'll be able to fix it before I move on. So, well, that's not what it's all about, that. It's just, I used to review back the footage and try and spot the errors myself, which was always nice. And not only that, if I came across some foolishness, or maybe I've said the wrong word as well, that, I might have said some things that I think are maybe not appropriate. I know I was talking about, I mentioned Jeff's videos recently, and I don't think I was making any real sort of nasty comments or anything. I suppose I was just a bit surprised that the guy's reaction to the first game would have told me that he didn't really want to buy the second game, and he did buy the second game. And although I've not watched through the footage, I get the impression that he's done with that game as well. I could be wrong. Anyway, it's things like that, and maybe I might have said things in the wrong way, and then you can edit them out. But okay, I've been walking the tightrope a bit with that. I don't think I come across terribly obnoxious or nasty or whatever. But you never know. You can sometimes say things the wrong way. It might offend people. I do have a drink from time to time. You may have noticed. So that can also distort certain things. Anyway, okay. What are we saying here, Grant? Right, I'm away on one, am I now? Right, yeah, so looking back in the footage there, Martin, and his first comment is regarding the major offensive card, and it's talking about the attack down here, but it's at the 37-minute mark. That's where he's time-stamped it, and yes, but the next timestamp for the next comment is an hour and something, an hour and 17 minutes. But it seems to be regarding the same activation. So like I say, I've not watched it back there, and I didn't want to sit and like watch it all there. So I don't know if I've made a mistake and went back or whatever. But anyway, I know what it is he's talking about. And it's when I'm asking the question about 40 cores activated, right? So, and I think this is, I mean, it makes sense. 40 core is activated. All 40 core units are activated, wherever they are on the map. That's the card. Here's the card right here, right? Activate all units in 40 core, 40 Panzer Corps, right? So yeah, so then I get a card, well, get the right one, because it was major offensive. We just had it out a minute ago. So then I get this card, and I'm going to be mixing the cards in a minute anyway. I was trying to put them back in the same order, but I'm going to be mixing them up shortly. And then I get this card, and we do stuff, and we're looking at the situation of active unit stack and other active units. So then I go back, I think it's after we've done the attack down here, and I've still got this unit active, and I start questioning, can the unit below here become the active unit? And oh yeah, okay, I remember now. Because I'm wondering if this becomes the active unit, and on this card it says non-active proximate units and lead units, and I'm reading that as core join attack. So I'm saying, so it's kind of irrelevant what I'm asking, but can he become the lead unit? And if this said core on it, which some of the other action cards do, like I've just pointed out, forward attack, if it was this card it says core. So I said, can he become the lead unit, and then these non-active units join the attack? And he's replied to me saying, no, non-active units can't become the lead unit, even if part of a unit stack. And I looked at that first and I thought, okay, I was like, I'm maybe not been looking at that properly. But bear in mind, this is part of the whole unit stack and other active units has always been a bit of a tricky one for me to get. And yeah, I feel better about it now, although he's just thrown me one that makes me sort of say, oh, okay. Because I think I was thinking that when this card, I mean, admittedly, yeah, 40 core unit is active. The other unit underneath is not it's not an active unit. So maybe that's where we should let things lie, and that's that. So he's saying non-active units can't become lead units. Right, but this card says unit stack. So this is a unit stack. So to me that means this unit, I kind of thought this unit might have been classed as being active because of that card. But I'm pretty sure I'm getting that wrong. I'm pretty sure Martin's right about this one. I don't think he would be making that statement without being totally sure about what he's talking about. So it's something I never really thought about. So I think I may have talked about it in a way before, because did I not say this had a selector number of 9 then? Martin. Yeah, Martin. Say this had a selector number of 9, that was a 10. Because the fact these were both 10s was where I was getting, like, should that be classed as the lead unit then? So are you then saying that this still can't become the lead unit because it's got a selector? Well, that must be what he's saying, yeah. There you go. I think I've been getting that wrong. I think I've been thinking about that wrong, but I dare say it would have pulled me up by now if I'd actually done it in that way. It's a little bit strange, but I can understand, because it's only this card says these are the active units, 40 core. this card basically says, right, the unit that you're looking at that's a lead unit that's part of 40 core, if he's stacked to another unit, that unit can come along and do its thing. But remember, the units move individually. But then again, when a reinforced battle or comes into effect, it's not an active unit. It still can move. It can still do its thing. You know, it's maybe based on that principle as well. Okay, I think I'll leave that there because we're 15 minutes in, and I can see this episode just been getting turn 7 started the way it's going. So yeah, I mean, I don't feel like basically I've asked a question. You know, does that mean, are you saying that this is not classed as an active unit? But I'm asking the question, kind of knowing that he's going to come back and say, yeah, it's not an active unit. It's not classed as an active unit. It can't become a lead unit. And I've possibly been thinking about it wrong that way. I don't know if I've done it in a way that's wrong or not. Maybe. Right, let's move on. I'll keep that in mind as well. The last thing he did mention was he's also playing the Soviet solo now. He's got the game. He's got it obviously set up. He's got it going, and he's having memories of watching my Enemy Action Ardennes game where I just drew the cards in such a lucky way that, oh right, okay, so I don't need to do that, and I do that, and he feels like he's suggesting I'm getting the cards out in a better way than he is, shall we say? And I feel like I am. He mentions core Rouse units coming out quite a lot, and the Manstein card not actually doing an awful lot. So yeah, I'll probably have to hold my hands up to that, Martin, and just lucky with the cards, I guess. It seems to be. I don't feel like things have been going brilliant lately, but I can see your point when you think about some of the cards that have been drawn, and oh right, okay, did we not have we drew a first or fourth army card, and although it done us one hit in a combat, I mean it would have been the next impulse for the Germans, and it would have been quite a strong impulse, and all we got is a combat tactic which I think done a hit, but you know, one hit over like maybe massacring a couple of units maybe. So yeah, okay. Right, anyway, thanks for your feedback as always, Martin. Keep up the good work. I hope you get some better luck in your game. Okay. Where are we? Right, starting the turn. Yeah, okay. Sequence of play. Deploy eligible German units already in reserve box. Well, that's nice because there's nothing there. Still the eliminated units. Remember, I felt that's like a bit. I mean, whether that happens early on in the game that you get the eliminated units come back across, because that happened early on for us, and I thought, God, they just keep recycling them. But look at that. Look at the eliminated units stacked there. So it's maybe not as brutal as I was imagining. Whether I got unlucky with that part, or whether, like I say, early game it does kind of move towards that. Right, and then step 2 in the reserve phase from turn 3, you may deploy Soviet units in reserve box with printed game turn 2 turns earlier from current game turn. Okay, well, all I can say is yes, please. So we've got, these are all game turn 5, so we're on game turn 7. So we're going to deploy all these 3 units, and this is really good. So what we've got, a pop-off. We've got one southwest front unit, pop-off, and a third tank, really strong unit, and the 40th Army unit. Right, I can possibly see this part, now that we're at just 20 minutes, is maybe just setting up things for the turn. But I kind of wanted to do that so I can get up in the morning and get up here and start not start a Soviet impulse, start a German impulse, haven't I? Because we're on turn 7 now, and it does say, from turn 7 onwards, the Germans go first. So we've got to keep that one in mind. And slightly worrying could be this situation here. Although we know this guy is going to be going out of supply in the supply phase, he is an infantry unit and he can still move his 4 movement, and his priority is going to be to that VP hex. So there you go. So if we happen to draw Martin, if I draw a Rouse card again, you know, look, that'd be devastating. I'll maybe draw the Manstein card this time. Okay. Just having some fun. Right, anyway. Okay, so we've got one Popov unit here. He's an armoured 2 strength, but he's another one that can get 7 movement. So where are we going to deploy him then? Right, well, the fact he's got 7 movement, I probably doesn't really matter too much. I did think initially maybe stack with this guy, but he's outside the Soviet support, and that's one of the conditions that we need to have. It needs to be in Soviet support. Within the front area, infrared map edge hex, or supply. Oh yeah, that's not going to be any good either, is it, Grant? We'll just put it in there, Grant. Because that's on a road that can trace supplies with 3 away. Yeah, that's fine, I think. And yeah, he's probably wanting to get involved. We're going to do something up here this turn. I mean, I know this is like 7 strength in here, but if not, go for that this turn. What's the reserves they're bringing in this turn? Rouse units. That's all. So that's good. They do have a couple of, I think it's 2 eliminated units and 40 core. So there is a chance they might come back, but we need to do something about these, I think. I want that victory point back because, like I said, 24 by the end of turn 9 was enough. I know that's a good bit away yet, and there's other things happening too, I realise that, but I mean, this point here could be quite worrying because, if he does go and take this, we've got no real army force round about to sort of say, oh, well, we'll just take that back again. It's like, yeah, I don't know what we do. I don't know what we do about that. Well, what we do about that is if we get the chance, I think we move this 69th Army unit down into here and leave this empty instead, because it's less chance of that getting occupied, I think. Anyway, back to what we're meant to be doing, Grant. So I think if we deploy him here, I mean, he can pretty much move wherever he wants. He's 7 movement. 1, 2, 3, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's a point. I don't think I can put him, I can't put him here. The fact he's got 7 movement, we could get him moving up around the back, but he needs to go on a supply head, road hex, or on a clear hex adjacent. And this is not a supply road for us. I could put him there, which is adjacent, because it's a queer hex, isn't it? On a queer hex, it's adjacent, and that's still 3 away. So I suppose I could put him there. I'll get some one hex further on to be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not really helping, is it? Because then we've got this minor river. I suppose I'm trying to think about getting into here maybe, but doesn't look like I can. Oh, hang on. Remember, it can be 2 hexes away if on the map edge hex. That doesn't help though. Nah. Because it's a supply road. It's a hex that I can trace supply is the problem. I think that's the best one I can get, isn't it? No. Yeah. Because it's a friendly map edge hex, or a supply head road hex, or an queer hex adjacent to such a hex. Oh, yeah, and I also need to be within 2 of a Popov unit, actually. Forgot about that. Well, that is within 2, so... Well, that would have been within 2 as well. Yeah, to be honest, here or here, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Right, well, I'll just go for there. I don't think I want to have him across this side. I'm going to let 6th Army and 1st Guards do something about what's going on over here, because this is where the 6th Army units are that are just about to get their supply back, hopefully, if calculated properly. And yeah, he wants to be more across here with these guys. Right, okay, we'll go with that. Right, so we've got 2 Voronezh front units. We've got the 3rd Tank one and the 40th Army. Okay. Well, let's look at the... No, maybe not. I'm going to look at the 3rd Tank unit first, I think. Okay, just hang on a second here. I forgot about Soviet Strategic Reserve deployment. I was only looking at tactical. And I mean, I don't know if this is something I would want to do or not anyway, but Soviet Strategic Reserve deployment does need to be in Soviet support, right? So it does need to be on this side of that red dotted line, on this side of it. And the supply head in... Oh, right, I'm talking nonsense. It still needs to be in the supply head anyway, doesn't it? And supply head and units. Yeah, I forget what I'm saying. Right, okay. Well, just leave him where he is. I was, not thinking straight there. Okay, so where does this 3rd Tank unit go? Strongest unit in the game that we've seen. 3 steps, 6 strength, 7 movement, you know. Well, I don't know. What are we going to do with 3rd Tank? We had an attack on this guy that didn't go terribly well, then an attack on this guy, which was more an afterthought, really. It was because we had the Stavka card, I guess. But what are we doing with him now, really? I don't know. Could it be something I want to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just, suppose just wondering there that, I mean, if we do draw our opening hand and we don't have anything that could activate a 69th Army unit, I mean, I know I can do the any one unit move, but that's generally a bit, you know, it's not your best choice of move, not on turn, not on the very first impulse anyway. And obviously this is dependent on the Rouse unit not just moving in here. But if I didn't have an option to activate 69th Army, there's no other unit I could get to get here. So I'm wondering about maybe putting that unit in an area that could reach there. I mean, Kharkov could be the... Well, I can't put it in Kharkov, that's only 2 away. I could put it in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, just sort of another option of getting proximate to that VP town. It's not what I would want to do, but it would just give another option. However, I could also deploy this unit with a strategic reserve deployment, and as long as it's 5 hexes away, then it doesn't need to be within 3 of the core, you know? Army. I'm getting all my army and core mixed up lately. Yeah. Then again, I could deploy both of them in that sort of position where am I being too paranoid here? You know, I could potentially, well, could even deploy him in Belgorod, I think. And then that would be a 4 hex movement to there. I mean, I don't want to lose a victory point. Like I said to you, if I lose that, getting it back is going to be a bit of a, you know, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Yeah, I quite like that actually. Oh, hang on. No, I can't. I was going to say, can I not deploy in here, but I can't. It's 4 away. It needs to be 5 away. So yeah, I've not got a 40th Army unit close by or a third tank. Yeah, it would need to be within 3 of the third tank or 3 of the 40 Corps, or if you go strategic, it needs to be 5 hexes away from a non-isolated German unit, and that's 4, so no, I can't. Right, I quite like the idea of deploying him in there then, because now that's 69th Army, I can activate 69th Army or 40th Army and move either one of these into here. Again, if Rouse activates first and does its thing, then that's me. So just double check this. It's in a supply head. Yes, it can trace down the road here and away. Well, it can actually go down here and go here and off the map edge or down the road. So it's in supply head and it's at least 5 hexes away from a non-isolated German unit. Yeah, it is him there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it is quite close actually, but that's fine. And or German town, city, or map edge. Hey, come on. Well, I'm glad I read it. Almost got caught out with this before, didn't I? In supply head hex and units front area, yes. And at least 5 hexes away from non-isolated German unit or garrison, yes. Or German town, yes. City, yes. Or map edge hex, no. I'm not 5 hexes away from a German map edge hex. Well, can I not still be 5 away? Would that be 5 away? It means he's further back though. I wanted him to be closer to his buddies really. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Be 5 away from unit, 5 away from map edge hex. So he could technically be placed here, I think. It's not ideal though, because but it is that other option you were looking for, you know. I'd like to place a third tank unit in an area as well that could do this as well, I think. Just so I've got 3 possible options. Or 4 possible options, I suppose if you take into account any one unit move. Not that I want to do it. I mean, I think the card I want to come up is probably the 69th. Or maybe 40th. Because yeah, I'd be happy to get this going. Or would you, Grant? You're not in support. Maybe you want to deal with that first. Okay. Grr. Well, yeah. Okay, hang on. What about here maybe? I I think that could be a legal deployment. And that's a bit closer to his buddies. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away from German map edge hex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from German unit. It's adjacent. Oh. Hang on. That does it. That's another compression, if I remember rightly. Because it says in supply head hex and units front area. But I think when we look at the rule 7.1, it tells us about the clear hex adjacent, I think. I'm sure that rings a bell. Place Soviet reserve unit in any Soviet map edge hex or road hex that is a valid friendly supply head. Okay, road hex is very... Okay, maybe I'm lying here then. 14.1. Or is it... The thing is, it doesn't... 14.1. Supply head. Every hex on a friendly map edge is friendly supply head. Road hex is a friendly supply head if a path connected road. If a path of connected road hexes can be traced from the hex to a hex on a friendly map edge with the road leading off the map. The road path may be of any length. Maybe I'm lying here. Damn it, why did I think there was something lost in the compression, if you like, there? Right, Soviet tactical reserve deployment in a friendly map edge hex or supply head road hex or in a clear hex adjacent. So is that just within tactical then? Or a clear terrain hex adjacent? No, it's actually not. It's different. Right. I must be thinking of something else there then. So I can't actually put it, and it needs to go in the. Oh, that's a pain. Because it's 5. It's 1 more to cross the river. Damn you. Well, hang on. If I go there, then I'm only. I'm not winning this, am I? That's 1, 2, 3 away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I'm going to jump back to the 3rd tank unit again, and I think I'm going to place him here with the tactical reserve. So he's on a supply road, yes. He's at least 3 away from a German unit, yeah. He's within 2 hexes of a unit in the same army. And he's in Soviet support. Yeah. Because he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he could rush down there. And I feel like he's still in a position that's not great. I noticed this bit's a bit of a mess. But he could get involved with us. He could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could get up to here. He could get up to here. So he's in a pretty good area, I think. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. And yeah, I think I'll come back to this one. This one was okay, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, this is strategic reserve deployment. He's on the supply road. He's 5 hexes away from map edge, 1, 2, 3, and the German unit. And he's in support. Yeah, and that way, a 3rd tank unit, a 69th Army unit, and a 40th Army unit could reach that hex. I mean, this one's not ideal, but I could strategically move them unless this guy moves into there. The other thing is, I'm going to have a unit adjacent to this, and maybe could do something about it if this guy does move in. Did I just move him? He was there, eh? Pretty sure he was there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he needed 4 movement. Yeah, I can see him when I look in the camera. I knew he was at the very bottom of the screen there, on the camera. So that's it. Right, okay. Right, go with that then. Right, well, this is definitely going to be a nothing episode of Grant yakking away a bit. So, and then transfer all units from current game turn calendar space to the reserve box. Well, we've got 3. I'll just maybe just show you them. Yeah, 9, 10 and 11. Can you see them? They're 3 2-strength Rouse infantry units. So nothing to get terribly excited about, but they do go in the reserve units box. And well, why were there? What is in the? Yeah, there's a couple of things worthwhile looking at here. Hang on. Yeah, just looking up the calendar there. I'll move that out of the way. So it's game turn 7, which is and that's part of this as well. February 19th to 21st. Fixed artillery range is moved up to 6. Soviet supplementals are still 7. Now we start ground markers. Well, this is a ground marker for this turn. We don't know what the rest of them are, but we're getting frozen. It has no effect. Start German first impulse. Right, like I mentioned, the Germans get the first impulse, not us anymore. And then remove the Stavka card if played. Well, that's going to be impossible on this turn because we had it in our last hand and our last draw pile. So it won't be seen this turn, but if it appears, whenever the turn it appears after that, once it's been played, it's then removed from the game. That's my understanding. And then less than 17 again for strategic German victory. It's the same, it's exactly the same numbers actually as the previous turn. So there we go. Right. Okay, card phase. Hopefully there's no problems this time. We've never moved the sugar cube, and I'll put that back up this time. So shuffle up these and we'll draw 7 supplementals into the draw pile. Okay, so that's done, and we do indeed, we had 9 there, so 2 are left over. There's 7 in here, so that's correct this time. And then we place all of these supplementals into there, and there should be 7 of these. Just double check they're all supplementals. 3, 7. And like I said, there's a Stavka card, so obviously that cannot come into play this turn. But we will get one more use of it. Whether it's next turn or not, I don't know. So that's now, I'm going to put the sugar cube back there. That's that done. Then we take our 6 primaries, just double check they are there. We put them there, we shuffle this together, and we draw our 5 cards for the start of the turn. So there we go, there was 13 cards shuffled up, we've drawn 5 of them, and I've not looked at them yet, and that is that. So for the Germans, this is basically just take all this and shuffle this up to create the new German command deck for the turn. Okay, so that's that done, and yeah, I noticed there's only 22 cards, and I thought there was 23, and that is because this card got removed from play. Nobody made any comment on that, and yeah, I think it's common sense that remove from play, the word in remove from play is totally not the same as discard the cards. So there's that. And then we look at, through our action cards, quite a lot, so we've got, zoom out a bit here, let's have a look. 6 plus, 6 plus, 3 plus, all 5 plus, 5 plus. I think there's one coming out, I seem to recall. Yeah, there it is there. So that's 1 to 6, so that one will come out. Oh, that's it, there's no new ones to come in, is there? Because we're on turn 7. Double check again. 6 plus, 3 plus, all. Yeah, if they've got a plus and a null, they're good to go. So yeah, that's us, and that'll stay with us the rest of the game. Yeah, so we'll get these shuffled up. Okay, that's that. There's 13 cards in there, so that's that. Right, so all the cards dealt with. Supply phase. So determine supply status of German units and then Soviet units, and then, well, deal with supply markers. Okay, so let's look at the Germans first. Okay. I don't think there's much issues at all with the Germans, is there? These are fine. It's just normal reserve. Normal supply trace. Yeah, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. Not any issues there. And here's fine. Oh yeah, we've got our Rouse unit, haven't we? So, well, we checked it a few times. So I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's one shot, and again, nothing's changed here. He can't trace up this road, and he can't trace onto this road, and then down into here because we've got a unit in here. So yeah, so the Rouse unit goes out of supply. Where are we? There we go. So that's a good thing. Although being infantry, like I say, he can still move his full movement. Right, and further on, this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's fine. Yeah, all fine there. Yeah, no issues there. And the only other ones to look at are the 2 Rouse units, but this is their map edge hex, so they are fine as well. Okay, so while we're up there then, Soviets, right. So, yeah, if we had realised, but we didn't. So this guy cannot trace supply because this road's still interfered with from this, actually not only that German, just that German unit, because we would be able to get through here because we've got a friendly unit. So he's going to go into the sad status of isolated now. Oh, I'm not having that wee ragged edge there. Come on. Yeah, some of them, I know I made comment at the beginning. I never tried. I was going to try and clip them from the side and see what it done. I mean, I could do it with a counter that maybe didn't really matter, but they are generally good, really. I think I'm just being really picky, you know. Right, so he's isolated. This guy is good because that Rouse unit moved away, and he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down the road. This is the trace that Martin showed me before because I had him marked out of supply. Not any problems with the rest of these guys, obviously. And in here, it's fine. And coming down here, obviously, is fine. And this, ooh. Okay, hang on a minute. This Rouse unit has zone of control here. Now we do, I think we're okay because we've got this road. Well, hang on, no. Yeah, the road comes out of Kharkov here. So as long as we can trace down to Kharkov, we can trace along here. Even more reason for this guy, getting rid of this guy, yeah. And then we can either come down here and along, or we can come right around. So is that the same for everyone? Yeah, as long as we can get onto this road, yeah, it's fine. But the likes of this guy, yeah, we'd have to, couldn't just go 1, 2 onto this road and come down because he can't get down here. So he's actually going to have to go 1, 2, and then go up the way and come around. But it's still okay, right? Okay. Yeah, go and watch supply. This guy's fine. This is our map edge, so that's okay. Right, and then coming along here, This guy's fine, this guy's fine, these guys are fine. This guy now becomes in supply because he can trace into a friendly unit, then trace into there, and he's on his supply road. So all good there, we'll get rid of that. And the other part of this, these guys are all okay. As long as they can trace into this town here, we can get, city. These two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are good. But this could become a worry depending on what these four. That's why we need to do something against them. Not let them just sit there and batter us about. We need to, I think, close in on them a bit and do something. We did get this extra pop-off unit. Still got 2 units eliminated, but well, what can you do? And then of course the worry with these two, we moved this unit up, but these two can go, he can trace into here for 1, 2, trace into here, and 3, 4, 5 onto the road and away. So they're all good, all on support, all on supply even. Right, I'm running out of space, so however, I think that is us all done. Next step in the supply phase is, well, after we've placed out supply markers, I kind of do it all the same, but it is a separate step. But step 3 is from turn 8, determine Soviet support line and use this turn. And that's where I was making a mistake about needing 21 victory points. And so it's not until turn 8. Well, we do have 23 victory points. So as long as we don't lose, I think it was 21, wasn't it? Right, well, hang on, I managed to turn to the right page there, page 39, with at least 21 victory points. Yeah, so from turn 8, if we start with less than 21 victory points, then our support line is away down here. So I'd like to think that's not going to be the case. Right, okay. It's all done. So we're going to come back to the command phase tomorrow morning when I arise and get going. And as it's from turn 7, the Germans are going to go first. So hopefully I remember that. But will we have a glance at our hand before we go? Why not? Let's have a look. Let's see what we get. 6th Army, 69th Army units, 69th Army. Okay. Something's been telling me something. Right. Well, I wouldn't say that's a brilliant hand, but it's got a 69th Army card. And as we know, well, remember the Germans do get to go first, but that would do. I mean, we do have 3rd tank as well, but I'd rather not be bringing this guy all the way down to here. So obviously I'm going to use one of the 69th Army unit cards. And we've got 2 replacement cards in that bunch. One for the 6th Army and one for the 69th Army. So you've got to seriously think about considering them, because you always know that you'll get the primary. There's a primary for 69th. I'm going to get the primary for the 6th Army anyway. So, seriously consider the replacement point, I think. That's how I'm feeling about it anyway, but we shall see. Okay, well, looks decent enough for us to try and hold that victory point, but if I draw one of the Rouse cards again, Martin, on the first impulse, I'll be shaking my fist at you and saying, damn you. Right, okay. I'm going to get this put together and start getting it uploaded, and it might be available late tonight. And yeah, I'll be back in the morning, hopefully with the start of turn 7. Okay guys, cheers.